Okay, briefly, let's talk about NCHEC and the CHES exam, Certified Health Education Specialist. I'm going to kind of breeze through these. You can look through some of these on your own time and try to hit a couple of the highlights about what is the CHES, who's eligible to sit for it, and what some of the advantages are. NCHEC is the name of the organization, the National Commission for Health Education Credentialing Incorporated. They are who administers the test, and under advice from large panels of people working in health education and public health, they create the questions for the exam. So this is a little bit about the mission, a little bit about the process of putting together, starting the CHES certification, because it is something that was really only started in the last couple of decades. They are consistently updating the questions and updating the key expectations of anyone who is working in health education so that it's always current. And this gives a little bit of an example, different versions. So it's not an old exam, it gets updated frequently. This just tells a little bit about the profession in general, about how health and wellness is a growing field, faster than average job growth. If you like to see this sort of data to see where different careers are going, then I highly recommend that you visit the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is a government website. And within that, there is not a profession that is called public health, because public health is such a large umbrella. But if you search for health educator, which is something that you can do with your public health degree, and a lot of you have, the training is very, very similar, you can see what the job predictions are. So some benefits of certification: you have that credentialing that kind of stays with you. Some jobs will be CHES preferred, or sometimes even CHES required. It can be good for networking. If you know other people who are on CHES, it kind of opens up some doors so that you can make that connection with other people. And it also helps others know that you were able to pass a pretty tough certification exam. So here's some stats for people who have passed the CHES, kind of how they feel about having done that, benefits to it. Okay, let's move forward a little bit. Just kind of, this is to show that there are more and more people being certified. And let's kind of move on to CHES eligibility. You may be asking yourself if you're eligible. So if you have a bachelor's, a master's, or a doctoral degree from an accredited institution, that is us, so SIUE is accredited, and you are a major, one of these majors, and clearly you are a public health, so it doesn't have to be public health education. The fact that you're public health qualifies you to sit for the CHES exam. So right there, that gets you in. You have both of those things. If you are getting ready to graduate, if you are within 90 days of graduation when you would actually sit for the exam, and I'll show you the exam dates in just a few minutes, and you get written verification and an official transcript, you can take the CHES exam before you graduate, but it has to meet those criteria. That's the 90-day eligibility, and you can read a little bit about that there. So the CHES and the MCHES, but we're going to mostly concern ourselves about the CHES, the exam schedule. It's given in a window in April and a window in October of every year. And here are the actual deadlines. So these are the ones coming up for 2020. So you can see the week in April and you can see the week in October. And you'll see that the student fee is a little bit lower than the non-student fees. And the earlier you register, the better. So the less expensive it is. So if you're considering taking the CHES in April and would qualify for that, I would recommend that you attempt to register for it before. So if you see here, the deadline is actually January 31st of 2020. So I would recommend, if you want to get the $270 fee, that would be how to do that. Otherwise, it's $320. So this is a computer-based format. So although the photo shows people filling out a Scantron, you don't actually use a Scantron. 165 multiple choice questions. 150 of those are the actual CHES exam, and then the remaining 15 are exam items that are being tested out for future CHES exams. There is a study companion available. That's your textbook. So that's, a good thing to be looking at. So some computer-based testing, still a little graphic, if you're interested in taking a look at that. That 67% is the pass rate for the CHES and 87% is the pass rate for the MCHES. And this, I think, was based on last October, or October of 2018. If you're interested what different areas of responsibility are emphasized, if you look through, those are the 7 areas of responsibility. And you can see that it's weighted heavily on implementing health education and health promotion programs. That makes up a quarter of the exam. And you can kind of look through and see what the other percentages are. This may be important for you after you take the mock CHES exam to kind of see where you have areas that you're particularly strong or particularly weak at. And you can kind of see how much those are weighed on the actual CHES exam. Once you pass the CHES exam, there is a $55 annually renewal fee to keep up your certification. And you will have to do continuing education. Every 5 years, there are 75 hours of continuing education that's required. And again, if you're careful, you can definitely do all of these for free. You just have to, and I would recommend doing some every year so that you're not in the 5th year doing all 75 credits. And this is just a little bit more about this, continuing education credits, what's required. You can look through that at your leisure. And that's pretty much it. That's a walkthrough of the CHES exam. If you have questions, I would recommend going to the NCHEC website, and they should be able to answer quite a few of the questions that you have.